what I find very unsettling, and you take a walk in any American city, large swaths of people are not part of the conversation, and they never will be part of the conversation. And that's the distribution of power. And it can't sustain itself. And that's why you have Trumpism, and that's why you have, I think the Black Hebrews and Charlottesville, you have a lot of disenfranchised people with no power, and they're afraid and they're angry. And the more we maintain this fantasy, it's a fantasy, the more unstable our society is going to become.
Zionism was kind of an idiom by which to demonize the other, of course, in that case Israel. Here you have Israel. We got maps of the Middle East with Israel in it, not Palestine. We got many, many things that told us that, yes, Palestinians have a problem, and we, Emiratis, have a problem too, because we have to strive with everybody to kind of a solution of the Palestinian problem, but not by annihilating Israel, not by demolishing Israel. Loud and clear, Israel is a state, it has the right to exist, and this was the best gift Israel had ever got in this Middle East.
This conflation of the establishment and existence of Israel with the supposedly nefarious, power-seeking plans of the Jews opens the door to the embrace by Hizballah of a variety of forms of anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic rhetoric, including elements which have no relation of any kind to Hizballah's own core Shia Islamic outlook. And indeed, a perusal of statements and programming by Hizballah propaganda outlets and by the movement's spokespeople and leaders unsurprisingly produces rapidly a rich harvest of classical anti-Semitic prejudice, indistinguishable in many ways from the traditional language of the European far right, or indeed in certain circumstances of the European far left.
We need to recognize that the goal of extremist organizations, not just these, but I'm talking about these organizations, that their goal is to undermine the political and social standing of Jews in the United States by their campaigns. Particularly when they say, we know what anti-Semitism is, and the Jewish organizations representing the Jewish community do not. And so lastly, I call for much more due diligence with regard to dialogue partners by the Jewish community, as well as vigilance with regard to the security situation. The Jewish community needs to know who we're talking to. We need to have good allies in the Muslim community because we will help each other.
Every male normally in the Jewish culture from 13 years it goes to bar mitzvah and so on and so forth. So from the Igbo culture, from 13 years to 18 years, he gets to mature into a man. So he learns all this and becomes a custodian of the Omenani. Omenani is all the precepts of the Torah that everybody knows. So it's a normal way of life. They get trained in this, not like they go into a seminary, but the African settings, all the midot and the hukim and so on, they know it, they teach it to our children, but they don't know, go now and start crying and say you're a rabbi, but it's like you're a custodian of the culture. And once you're a custodian of the culture, there are certain things you don't do, you don't engage in. Just like the way a rabbi will not engage in certain things, he leaves certain precepts in his life.